Number 13, greatest common factor. This is old. We never went over this, but the term factors come up a lot when we've done distributive property, when we've looked at division problems. We've used factor as a term. Factor is any part of a multiplication problem. So, like for example, if I have 13w, w being a variable, 13 is a factor and w is a factor. Or if I have, given the problem, 3 times 4 equals 12. Well, 3 is a factor and 4 is a factor right here. But you also want to think of it this way. 12 equals 3 times 4. What I'm saying when I write it this way, essentially, I want to show you that 12 has several factors as well. 12 can also be 3 times 4. Remember, we've talked about this. The equal sign means it is. 12 is 3 times 4. So 12 in itself has the factor 3 and 4. It also has a factor of 2. 12 can equal 2 times 6. So it has a factor of 2 and 6. It also has a factor, for example, of 12 and 1. Let me think. Are there any other factors that we can put in here? I think 3 times 4, 2 times 6, and 12 times 1. We've covered 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 isn't going to go into it. 6 will go into it. 7 won't go into it. 8 won't go into it. 9 won't go into it. 10 and 11 won't. So yeah, these are your factors. So the factors of 12 are 3, 4, 2, 6, 12, and 1. So that was just an example right there. Don't let that get you confused. Here our questions are 48 and 16. What's the greatest common factor? So by greatest, it means the largest number. Here, let me clear this out. Because I can remember when I just started going back into math. So this was me as an adult being confused by these terms. But if you really think about it, what you're looking for is in the term. So the word greatest is going to tell you the largest number. So, well, let me keep going here. Common is, aside from being an incredible artist, is meaning that what they have in common. So 16 is going to have some factors, and 48 is going to have some factors. The question is, what factors do they both have together? What does 16 have and 48 have? And specifically, what is the greatest one that they have? So they, for example, 16 and 48 can both be divided by 2. They're both even numbers. But are there numbers larger than 2 that can also be divided into? Well, we could do several different numbers, but the one that stands out the most is 16. Because 16 goes into 16 one time, 16 times 1, and 16 goes into 48 3 times, 16 times 3. So in this case, excuse me for that, your answer would be 16 is your greatest common factor. Let me show you a technique to do this if you're not able to recognize the factor, because oftentimes the numbers are a lot bigger that they give you. So let's say that we take the number, I don't know, let's do 256 and 32. What you can do is called a factor tree. And what I like to do is just cut a number in half like this. 256, which 256 divided by 2 is going to be 128 and 2. 128 times 2 is 256. Now 2 I can't really cut anymore except for 2 and 1. So that's done right there. This side is done. This side, on the other hand, 128 divided by 2 is 64 and 2. So again, this side is done again. 64 divided by 2 is 32 and 2. And we can stop there because suddenly we found this number 32, and 32 is the largest factor of 32. 32 times 1, it can't get bigger than that. And it also is a factor here in 256. So your greatest common factor is 32. Hopefully that clears it up. I don't think they're going to make it difficult on this test. I think it's going to be something like this where it's pretty clear that one goes into the other.